Welcome back to another episode of Thriller Thrifts. We are two people who really enjoy thrifting of all types and also run a resale business as a second job because of finances and just trying to make it. Today we are recapping some items that were sold this past month in March, including a lot of cameras, plushies, and other electronics. Make sure to stick around until the end for our total sales and expenses. And for the first item that's sold in the month of March, this is the Takara Tomy Disney Pixar Dream Railway Toy Story Woody Sheriff Train Engine. This was purchased at the Goodwill bins for 36 cents. And there are other pieces as well, but this one just sold. This is the front of the train, and it sold in a year and a half for $34.99 plus shipping. So this took a longer time to sell, though we never really decreased the price. And with the new Toy Story 5 coming in theaters, I feel like this was more of interest. Though I feel like once it 2, Toy Story 5 was still like in the news because it's like the 5th Toy Story, but then the plot is actually pretty compelling. But this train is really cute. It has the cowboy look of Woody and Jessie. And I think it's really cute on the bottom. I actually thought someone had written it, but it has the Andy, same as on Woody's boot himself. I thought it was a nice touch. And for the second item, I had to do something I never had to do before. My partner had actually packed the whole item before I was able to do a video on it, so bear with me as I show some of the pictures from the eBay listing. This is the Spider-Man Marshmallow Ready Bed Inflatable Sleeping Bag and Cover. This was purchased at a yard sale for $10, and in the same purchase, we actually bought a self-inflating and deflating air mattress to have in our guest room for people who want to stay the night, so it was another good deal. And this sold in a year and a half for $60 plus shipping. I'm also ready for the new Spider-Man movie, Brand New Day, to come out in July, and I can see another kid excited for this movie getting to sleep in a Spider-Man camping mattress while dreaming about being Spider-Man. The next item is this set of 2 Johnson Brothers Brookshire 8-inch salad plates. These are purchased as a whole plate and bowl set, so these are just the 2 plates, and they were purchased for $25. I really like this duck design. With the springtime coming, you see a lot more fowl coming back in the ponds. And these sold in about 13 hours for $17.09 plus shipping. So I think someone also was like, I kind of like these ducks. These are actually going to Australia. I think that's one of the furthest places that we ship something to. And they are kind of loud and clicking together accidentally, but they're made in England, dishwasher, freezer, and microwave safe. It's a good set. I always wondered why people put salads on plates though, because it's kind of hard to eat. Like I can't pick up everything with a fork. I feel like a bowl would help better, but I don't know. This next item is more an antique. This is the Adobe Illustrator 9.0 Upgrade Big Box for Macintosh OS. It was purchased at an estate sale for $5. Found in the office space of like some person's large desk, and they just have things hanging around. And it sold after 2.5 years for $14.57 plus shipping. Normally these would sell for more because it's not subscription based nowadays with Adobe, but it is an upgrade version, meaning that you need an older version of the software already, and as well for the Mac, so probably older versions of the Mac. And as you go further and further away from this point in time, this is unable to be used in the newer devices. Our next item is our first camera. This is the Nikon Coolpix L620 digital camera. This was purchased at a buy-sell trade store for $54.57.
I'm gonna open it here.
And it sold in 22 days for $76.49 plus shipping. So it's also in working condition. Since it's a digital camera, you just need to charge it and then have the appropriate cord to upload to the computer. It's a good size too. I really like this design as well. It's like cross between more of the vintage like style cameras and newer. I think it was also sold with some credit we got from the store from donating a bunch of books or trading them in. And it comes in the original carry package as well. And now the next item is another digital camera. This is the Casio LXM EX Z1200 digital camera. This was purchased at an estate sale for $22. It took about 6 months to sell for $48.59 plus shipping. Digital cameras are trending nowadays, and this is like the older versions of this. They want that 2000s kind of blurry look, and also I think just the kind of lifestyle of carrying around a digital camera like this. It's also in working condition and from an estate sale, so it's probably just lying around as well. Also comes with the battery charger. I remember older ones looking like this. This is in working condition as well. For our next item, this is the Build-A-Bear Tails plush from Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and this was purchased at a buy-sell trade store for $21.80 and sold in a week for $55 plus shipping. Previously, we have sold other types of Build-A-Bear items like a Nightmare Before Christmas and even another one from the Sonic universe, Shadow. So it's not bad for resale. I think Build-A-Bear is still trending, and this is like more of like a niche character. So the main characters are the most popular ones, but for the side characters, if you want a whole set, they can often go for more. And its name's Tails because it has two tails.
Oh, right. Almost forgot.
He flies like a helicopter using them. This is my favorite character. I think I like Shadow the most, actually, or Knuckles. But he's very nice and a nice yellow color. Also in good condition. The next item is a classic board game. This is a sealed Pictionary board game from 2009. It was purchased at an estate sale for $5 and it sold in 17 days for $15 plus shipping. I think it's incredible that it's still unopened from 2009. Like, why buy it? If no play, but I think it's probably like a gift or something, found on an estate sale. So I think just trying to get rid of it. And your classic game of Pictionary. I think I'm pretty good, but I don't play it that often. It's hard to get a lot of people willing to like draw and then guess. I think there are other board games out there, but this is still a classic. I'm excited for this next item because it is our last Grinch plushie that we bought at this yard sale. This is the Mr. Grinch animated Waddler plush. Came along with a bunch of other Grinch items that have now sold, and all of them cost $2. So yay! I don't have to see this again until I think October when they pull out all the Christmas stuff again. But it's sold for $40.49 plus shipping in 5 months. This one went more than regular plushies because it is an animatronic. So please enjoy some footage of that. Is a medical device. This is the Omron HEM 650 wrist blood pressure monitor. It was purchased at the Goodwill bins for only 50 cents and it sold for $49.49 plus shipping in about 1 month. So this is like one of the smaller blood pressure cuffs I've seen so far. Comes in the original case for it. And you just put it on the wrist and it gives you an at-home test, which is useful. I'm surprised that it is in this intact because it was just thrown into one of the bins, but it is a good find and necessary if you need it. Our next item is another vintage camera. This is the Polaroid One-Step Close-Up 600 Instant Film Camera. This was purchased at a buy-sell trade store for $9.78 and it sold in 30 minutes for $20 plus shipping. It was purchased by this company called Retrospect, who buy a lot of these types of Polaroid cameras off of eBay to then resell on their own individual website. And they only buy for this amount, $20, otherwise it won't sell. And I think on their website, they just only do these types of specific cameras where they refurbish them. Although this one is in working condition, so I think they're just going to clean it up a little bit better. But they do resell for like a lot higher on that website versus like purchasing a used one on eBay. Not necessarily from ours, but also in general. I like how this looks. It's very satisfying looking. But yeah, these are still very, very popular or trending nowadays. Our next item is this BBE 382ISW Sonic Maximizer. This was purchased at a buy-sell trade store for $52.39 and it sold for $149.99 in about 10 hours. So pretty fast. This is in working condition and a sonic maximizer is used to improve the quality of sound when sound mixing, especially when playing the guitar. And this is surprisingly heavy. I'm not sure why like the sound equipment is always so heavy, like the systems, loudspeakers, and the shipping was kind of high because it is so heavy, but again it's cheaper than buying a new one and it probably works very similarly. For our next item, we have our first video game. This is the Quake 4 for Microsoft Xbox 360. This was purchased at a thrift store for $2.29 and it's in working condition but rated mature M for 17 plus, the original manual inside, and it sold for $13.49 plus shipping in about 2 months. I have never heard of this game before, though I haven't seen this Xbox screen in such a long time. It looks kind of terrifying actually. Another Earth survival type of game. So if you're into that, this would be the game for you. But a pretty standard sell for this type of game and this type of condition. For our next item, we also have our first book in a while. This is Dog Painting, 1840 through 1940, a social history of the dog in art book, written by William Secord. This was purchased at an estate sale for $2, probably like a fancier estate sale. They have these types of coffee table books or just huge libraries with these books filled with them if they have a specific interest like photography. And it's sold in 3 months for $25 plus shipping. Books are also nice to sell because they have a lower shipping rate because of the type of media it is. And I do appreciate that there is just a book dedicated to dogs and art of this types of paintings. I think that dogs were cute then and they are cute now. And you can see it in the level of care and detail in this book, which I appreciate. Also some random extras in these books, probably from the previous owner. And I hope that the new person maybe find inspo to paint their own dog. Though I am a cat person myself. The next item to sell is this Italian brass and cast metal 3-inch chess piece set. So this was part of a huge buy. We had spent $120 on just like 5 different bins of just chess sets and other random game items that this person selling at this garage sale was literally clearing out his garage. He was pulling things out as we spoke. And not only chess pieces, but he had a bunch of the Department 56 ones and just so many other things from the past like several decades. So I think maybe if your family member was a really avid chess collector or chess player, and he just wanted to get rid of all of them. So this is the first item to sell. It sold in 5 days for $25 plus shipping. And because it is made out of brass and cast metal, this thing is really, really heavy. So I wonder if this was the original packaging. It is very, like a lot of touch up on here. So I don't know what it originally looked like. But in the original foam casing, you have a king here, like your typical chess piece designs. So that was the black and this is the white. And I'm excited to see where the other chess pieces go because there are just so many of them. But this is the first. The next item to sell is kind of another repeat item. This is the new Onkyo RC-898M remote control and also brand new. This was purchased at a Goodwill bins for 95 cents. And when I say brand new, it's because it's still in the original packaging, although maybe someone just wanted to keep it in there, you know, like how your parents still keep the saran wrap over remotes or the TV. And it sold in 2 months for $34.99 plus shipping. This is not the most expensive remote we sell, though I'm always surprised at how much remotes do sell because this is still brand new in the packaging. And I'm not sure why someone would throw it away or end up in the Goodwill bins, but it was a good find. Our next item is another one of those types of books or magazines found at estate sales that are kind of like coffee books. This is the Smithsonian Magazine March 1988 issue. This was purchased at a thrift store for 25 cents, so donated instead of estate sale, and it sold in just over 2 years for $7.19 plus shipping. So we've been holding on to it for a while. Not the greatest sale, but from when we started first reselling on eBay, honestly, I think this is very interesting. It's in great condition still. Has some of the other artwork collections from the Smithsonian back then and some of these vintage ads you ordered through a magazine. And there's just like a funny guy on the cover. I don't even think he's that weird at all. Mysterious monsters. And it's a type of media that ships well through USPS. And I would like to read it myself, though I'm not that much of a magazine reader. And this next one, I know previously we said we are not allowed to sell used perfumes on eBay, but sometimes they just don't remove the listing. This next item to sell is this 5-star Royal Secret Spray 30% bottle, the entire bottle. Well, 30% left in it, but they have the cap with it and everything. It was purchased with a bunch of other empty and partially full perfume bottles at a yard sale for $5 for the lot. So this one had a unit price of 19 cents, and it sold in 6 months for $25 plus shipping. So sometimes the listing does get taken down, but if you do search on eBay, you'll see many more used perfume bottles. This one is old. I'm not sure why it's a green color. Very mysterious like concoction they have here. It's a very strong smell, but like smells like your grandmother type of perfume. And it's a royal secret, so maybe that's what their concoction is. It's a secret. It's green. Otherwise, I really like perfume bottles. I think they're very classy looking. I hope whoever purchased it enjoys the smell or just wants to know what's in the secret. This next item that's sold is another vintage item. This is the L&Co F1300 frequency counter. This was purchased at a thrift store for $1.09 and is used for testing electronic equipment and based off the name, probably counting frequencies, so I think different than a radio. And it sold in a week for $58.49 plus shipping. This is kind of hefty. has that 80s look to it. And it comes with the original operating instructions, which is a bonus. I think this was just taped onto the equipment when it was sold from the thrift store. And I recently watched the movie Project Hail Mary. I also read the book, and it just makes me think of all the ways science is used and different parts of science. So maybe use this type of technology when he was communicating with the aliens. Spoiler alert. But this should be easy to pack because it is mostly square and actually not too heavy. And the screen is a little dusty, but we couldn't get that off. This next item is something we've never sold before. This is the DoD FX40-B 8-band equalizer guitar effects pedal. This was purchased at a buy-sell trade store for $23.98, and it sold in 2 months for $65 plus shipping. This would have sold for slightly more, but it is missing the battery cover, hence the strip of yellow tape at the top here. I think this is safe, but it came like this. And I don't play the guitar, so I'm not sure what a guitar pedal does for. I remember when we sold the sewing pedal, the last video, I was more familiar with that. But this seems like an older version as well, made in the USA, but it is a good weight. So shipping is a little bit more, but it's a smaller size, so that's convenient. And now going back to the other chess sets that we bought, the next item that sold is this Big League Promotions 2001 Space Chess Set. This is brand new in the original packaging, still saran wrapped. Can I tell from the side here? And this is part of the $120 chess buy. Again, this is like one of the many different types of chess sets that was just in this guy's garage and part of just everything he gave to us. So this one sold for $59.99 plus shipping in 5 days. And this is a lot more than the brass chess set, only because it is brand new. The design is kind of funky for space. Again, just saw Project Hail Mary. And I think I would have used, like, I get why, I think this is probably the sun is the king and the earth is the queen, but these are so not to size. And there's not too many astronauts in space like this, so maybe like the stars or something else. There's also, I guess, different chess sets available from the same company, like a Christmas one. A good buy and a good sell, and ready to see many more of these other chess sets. This next item is more dishware, but lacking some geese and some other fowl. This is a set of 4 Royal Doulton Gordon Ramsay Maize white salad plates. Originally, we had purchased 8 total plates at a thrift store for a total of $9.61, so that's for all 8. And this is the first set of 4 to sell for $34.99 plus shipping in 9 days. We've sold other Gordon Ramsay plates before, but they were bigger and I think more square. But they had the similar ridge at the edge, probably just easier to handle food. And they are loud, as usually plates are when they clink, and these will be a little bit more challenging to ship, as all ceramics are. I do like the feel of this, like it's a good size for me. It's like a plate that's a bowl. That's kind of trendy nowadays, and they are very classy looking. And now this next item is our first personal item. This is the Philips Norelco 9000 series wet dry shaver S9731. And when I say personal item, this is not my personal item, but my partner's. He had upgraded to a different shaver because he felt this one was not close enough. He wasn't getting, like, he has a really thick beard, so he just needed a little bit more.
What you need is a shave. A nice, soothing shave.
So decided to sell this one on eBay instead. It is sold in 2 months for $22 plus shipping. It's in working condition. Had to clean it up a bit from many years of use, but still with the original charger and cheaper than brand new. This next item is another throwback device. This is the HHB Burnett CDR830 Professional Compact Disc Recorder. This was purchased at a buy-sell trade store for $74.24. And I really enjoy this purple color it has on the front. And it sold in 11 days for $179.99 plus shipping. And although the purchase price was high, the resale price is even higher. And I was part of the age a little bit towards the end of burning discs, but I did it on my laptop instead. So I didn't know they had an entire system for it. I can't imagine what you would need it for today. Maybe you have an old CD you want to digitize, maybe, or just record onto a CD. It should pack well because it is square, but again, heavy, so big on the shipping. Next item to sell is another chess set. This is the Gits 1940s chess piece set. It was purchased as part of the previous $120 buy, the one garage sale, and it sold for $29.99 plus shipping in about 3 hours. So this is very old, but I'm still surprised that the box is still intact, kind of. Maybe like a little bit fraying on the sides, but I've definitely seen worse before, and probably when plastic was just first invented and becoming more widespread, so this was probably very novel then.
Single stream recycling focuses on 5 different kinds of waste: paper, steel, glass, aluminum, and plastic.
Still has the original instructions in it on how to play chess, especially for beginners. You have the white and the black pieces, and all the pieces are still there as well. And you need to lift up this part to bring out all the pieces. But it is a very vintage set. The next item that's sold is a software. This is the Quark Express 7 upgrade software for Windows and Mac. This was purchased at a thrift store for $3.82 in the area of various electronics. Definitely used before. It says Mac computer on the side. And it's sold in 2 months for $35.99 plus shipping. This is an older software. I have actually never heard of the company Quark before. Hopefully I'm saying it right. I think it's just to help you improve your images and video without having to use Flash. It's not the most expensive software, but if you would like to, again, own the software instead of having to buy subscriptions, and you have one of these older computers as well, this would be handy. Going back to the chess pieces, the next item that's sold is this Druick & Sons King Arthur chess set number 1007. As part of the $120 chess buy. I still don't know how many chess sets are total out of all the bins that we bought, so I can't give a unit price currently. It sold in a week for $26.99 plus shipping. This is King Arthur themed and has a little bit of cracking in the cover. The original is by Charles A. Bendicke. And they are hand carved as well. So inside has the original chessboard here. And these are more like serious looking pieces. You have King Arthur, probably Guinevere for the queen, and the other characters as the other chess pieces. Probably just more like Renaissance themed in general.
I'm invincible!
They are plastic pieces and will be handled with care during shipping. Item is another chess set. This is the Gits 1942 chess bin set of 32 pieces. It's the same brand as before for the other 1940s chess piece set, and this sold in 18 hours for $27 plus shipping. This is a lot smaller than the other one. It's number 500 pattern, a Staunton pattern, and is endorsed by the United States Chess Federation, manufactured in Chicago, Illinois.
This is the original box here.
There's some tape on the sides. Previous owner. There is no chessboard that comes with this, just the white and black, but it has a fun marbling color look to it, and also the original instructions similar to the other one in the other box. So if you want to swap out pieces, this would be one to look for. They are smaller in size, but all the pieces are there. Next item is something we haven't sold before. This is the 1970 Progresses Hamburger Press. This was purchased at an estate sale for only $1, and the original price tag is still on there for $1.39. So a good deal for us. And it's sold in 9 months for $15 plus shipping. I think this is unique because of how old it is, made in the 1970s. And the original plastic is still on here, so considered brand new, but it's flaking off a little bit. So even though it kind of looks like a gold hamburger press, it's actually silver. On the front is like a cow to represent the hamburger meat. Don't really make these at home, but for $15, hope it works. Item to have sold is our first jewelry item. This is the Wittnauer Men's Cosmopolitan Watch. It's purchased at an estate sale for $27.50, still in its original packaging, and we had to change the battery for it, but otherwise in working condition, and it sold in 2 weeks for $65 plus shipping. So I'm gonna open it here, one hand. It is a gold covered watch, original pillow. I like how it's on a pillow, but there's a little bit of discoloration on the clasp from the back. Oftentimes it's really hard to buy jewelry at these estate sales because we're actually not that very versed in figuring out which of the materials are real, which one's fake. So that's one thing that we want to get better at in the future. Right, our next item is another chess set. This is the 1961 A9 sculptured chess set number 1475. It is the Gothic version. It's part of the $120 chess buy, and it sold in 8 days for $34.99 plus shipping. This is an old set, like most of them are, with some tape around the edges to keep it all intact. Comes with the original board and the original pieces, as well as instructions on how to play the basic rules of chess. Very yellow paper here. I like how all of the pawns are in their one container and that each place has their own place to be put into. All the pieces are there instead of just like free all in the whole box. However, this one looks very similar to the King Arthur set, where it's just like these really long faces. Kind of funny looking. I'm still partial to the space one so far. Looking forward to see many more that we list and then sell. Next, we just can't seem to get rid of these chess sets, or we are getting rid of them. This is the Parker Brothers chess piece set, part of the $120 chess buy, and this is the Chess Men. So Parker Brothers Inc. in Massachusetts, New York, and London. The Staunton pattern. Also made in France, and this one sold in about only an hour for $29.99 plus shipping. Because it sold that fast, I think you probably priced it too low for that $30. So inside is the wood panel there, removable, and all the original chess pieces. Online there was usually the white and black set, but this is black and red. So I assume the red would still go first. The black is more matte, the red is glossy, and there is no chessboard, so you can customize your own. The next item to have sold is actually a bit of a throwback. This is a 1984 Kenner Star Wars Mail Away Luke Skywalker in his Hoth gear with accessories. This is part of a $75 Lego buy from about 10 months ago. So what happened was we bought this giant bin just full of Lego pieces from this garage sale, and I think that bin had been unopened since the 80s when her children were, I guess, young and playing with these toys actually. So it wasn't just Legos inside there. We had sold these other unopened Star Wars pieces a while back, and this one sold for $150 plus shipping. It used to be $1.69. I think it even was on sale then, and I probably just the rarity of this and that it is unopened. And then also from that Lego buy, there were actual lots of Lego sets from there. Make sure to look out for future videos on that buy. And for this next item, it is definitely not as exciting as selling a little Star Wars toy for $150. But I thought this was interesting. So this is the Levi's Women's 311 Shaping Skinny Capri Light Wash Denim Blue Jeans. This is interesting because we don't usually sell clothing items. There's already so many retail spaces for clothing items and resale, including the one that I bought these pants from. I bought these on ThreadUp. They're a personal item. So what happened was I looked for these specific measurements, but then the actual sizing of this pant was just way off from what they listed online. And so even though I wanted to return them, they said, oh, actually it's a lot more to return an item because their goal is to reduce carbon emissions from the fast fashion industry. So they just gave me online credit and let me keep the item. But since Levi's is a good kind of resale brand, tried selling it again. And this sold for $15.60 plus shipping in just over a year. And I wish it fit because I'm still in need of some pants, but it is in moderate condition. I didn't wear it except to try it on that one time, and comes with the original tags. And there was another pant that was still listed right now, like a pair of leather jeans where the size was just not accurate. Again, going back to the chess sets, the next item that sold is a 1947 Kingsway Florentine replica 11th century chessmen miniature chess set. This is part of the $120 chess buy and in the original packaging as well, but also kind of similarly battered. And you can't smell it, but it does smell like an old attic, an old garage, if you will. And it sold in 3 days for $14.99 plus shipping. For this set, all the pieces are here, meaning that just the chess pieces. I don't think it came with the board, but it comes with the original instructions. Also faded yellow, and we're going to put the pieces in a little bag for better transport. And for the next item, this is the Starbucks 2013 Bahamas Collector Series coffee mug. This was purchased at a thrift store for $2.29, and 2013 is pretty much the rise of Starbucks, maybe even peak Starbucks around that time. This is from the Bahamas, so you have to be in the Bahamas to buy this cup, and I like how on the back there's a bunch of cruise ships because that's how most people in the US and Starbucks drinkers get to the Bahamas. But it sold in about a month for $10.99 plus shipping. Not all Starbucks items at the thrift store will resell. This is just very specific and a collector item from that time, and this will be easier to sell because it's easy to pack a mug, kind of wrap it in bubble wrap, and then you send it off. And For our final item before I upload this video, we have this Chess Master 10th edition PC video game. This is part of the $120 Chess Buy, and I think it's very interesting that we end on a way to actually learn how to play chess. I know we've been going through so many chess sets, and my partner is an avid player, but I'm not the biggest fan. It actually kind of gives me anxiety playing. I don't know how to explain, but this is a video game, and I like how it's rated E for everyone because it's just like chess. But it's sold in 3 days for $9.99 plus shipping. So it's just kind of like, if you want it, and not the most expensive sell, but part of the overall chess lot. So it comes with the original instructions or user manual and the CD. You can learn how to play chess if you don't want to go online to do so. I think this is from 2004, has that kind of 2004 look. And I'm not going to be playing this, but I'm glad that chess is still alive, still growing, probably will for the next couple of decades, and yeah.